Hello, my name is Steve Kime, and welcome to City Connections. I have the privilege of serving as the Director of Marketing and Public Relations for the City of Enid. One of my responsibilities in this role is to serve as the communication liaison between the City Administration offices and to you, the citizens of Enid. Our special guest for this edition of City Connections is the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Enid, Jerald Gilbert. Jerald, welcome. It's good to have you.
Hi, Steve.
I know you're a busy guy, so thanks for taking a few moments to visit with us. The CFO, Chief Financial Officer for the City of Enid. Just for a few moments, why don't you share a little bit about your background? Tell us, I know you served our country, and you've done a variety of things. Kind of give us a little background.
Sure, Steve. I was born in Oklahoma City. My parents were from Enid, though, so I've spent most of my life, grew up here in Enid. We moved away for a short time, went to high school at Crescent, but of course we moved back here. My parents are high school graduates.
Is that home of the Tigers?
It is, the
Okay.
Crescent Tigers.
Yeah.
Yes. So went off to Oklahoma State University, so I am a cowboy.
Okay.
And I got an economics degree, and then I decided, I had the realization, what am I going to do for a living? So I decided I'd get an accounting degree. And after that, I went to work for the state of Oklahoma, worked for the Department of Corrections for about 5 years in accounting, and ended up working in two places here in town at the Enid Community Correction Center out by Phillips, which is now NOC. And then I moved out to the new prison at Alva as the first business manager out there. So I got some good experiences with the department. I'm married to my wife, Denise. She lives here with me. She's worked at Ditch Witch before, and actually was working at Ditch Witch when I left the state, and also went to work for Ditch Witch. So I worked at Ditch Witch in as a computer analyst, as a manufacturing analyst, and I did that for about 8 years before this wonderful opportunity opened up for me here at the City of Enid, a chance to come back and be the CFO. And I've been here for about 8 years and enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm glad to be talking about it with you here today.
Well, I know we're thrilled to have you on board, and I realize that you definitely have a staff. As the Chief Financial Officer, I know that you have a variety of responsibilities, but one of your responsibilities is the maintaining the staff that you have, because accounting is a lot more than at the City of Enid than just balancing that checkbook. Can you tell us a little bit more about the departments that you oversee?
Yes, Steve. Currently, there's 4 departments that roll up under the Chief Financial Officer. That's, of course, the accounting department that you mentioned. Also have the Records and Receipts Department, which many citizens may be familiar with. If you come into the city to pay your bill, your water bill, you'll go to the windows. That's where that's the function there, is to collect all the receipts for the city, and also be the custodian of all the city's records and answer open records requests, etc. The Utility Services Department. It provides the billing function for utility services, as well as maintaining our automated meter infrastructure system, as far as working with the IT staff and the water production folks to make sure, and water distribution folks to make sure the system works. And then also we have the warehouse purchasing function rolls up under the CFO, which is located out at the service center, which provides some centralized purchasing and inventorying of commonly used stuff here in the City of Enid. So 4 departments, a total of about 20 employees or so. And it's certainly a full-time job, but it's made a lot easier by the wonderful people that work here at the city.
Makes all the difference in the world when you surround yourself with the best people.
Yes, it does.
We'll talk about budgets in just a few moments, but as CFO, if you could just share one of the surprising or biggest challenges that you face. Is there just one challenge that just kind of doesn't go away in the role that you have?
Well, there is one challenge, and it's really trying to stretch the money as far as we can to do the most good for the citizens in the City of Enid. We do happen to be in budget season, and what I always like to tell people, and I'll tell the commissioners, I'll tell the city manager, and I'll tell everybody here, is that there are unlimited needs and wants in the City of Enid. Anybody can get up and look around. They can see a street that needs to be fixed. That they can maybe be able to tell there's some infrastructure problems with water. They know about the restrictions, but what they don't see is all the great things going on. But the struggle or the challenge is taking those unlimited needs with limited resources and figuring out how to allocate that. And certainly as staff, we help Eric Benson put together the best budget we can, present that to the commissioners, and of course their job is to make sure that that budget meets the needs of the citizens and the strategic direction they have in mind for the city. So we are moving into that process now, and we'll begin those discussions at the May 6th meeting.
If there's anything pleasant about your role, it has to help that income is up, the tax receipts are up. I mean, that there's money in the bank. It has to help like in your own personal life or what. It helps when there's money there to take care of expenses and so forth. So Enid's going through this transformation, this growing time. Sales tax is up X amount of percent from the previous record year. So does it help in your perspective of knowing that you've got to really stretch the dollar, but when times are good, like what they are right now, in an economic sense, does that help your role as well?
Absolutely. It makes the job easier, certainly. It still doesn't resolve, it doesn't provide all the money we need, but yeah, sales taxes are up about 12% from the previous year, which you mentioned was a record year too. So we're very fortunate. The city is growing. It's vibrant. You can look around and see all the developments, not only downtown, but out west, everywhere you go. And pretty much everywhere you go, you can identify a new street that's been done in the last 5 to 10 years. So lots of progress in town.
In a previous role that I had, in working with nonprofits and other entities, I was always involved in audits, and I know the important role that audits play for nonprofit and for really any organization. And I know a month or so ago the audit was released, or the report of the audit was released for the city of Enid, and it was a good report. Can you just kind of share with us a snapshot of that audit process, how you're involved as CFO?
Yes, the audit is a requirement that we have. We would want to have it anyway, even if it wasn't a state law requirement, because what it accomplishes is bringing in an independent, trained person, an auditor, who looks at our finances and presents them and takes our financial statement and presents it in a report that all the stakeholders can see, and clearly, on a standardized basis, measure where we're at financially. The last audit was released and reported to the council in January. We are in good financial condition. That report's available on the website. It reported that city revenues were up. In some cases, expenses were down. In some of our funds, overall expenses were down. So, you know, that challenge that I talked about, we met pretty well in that audited year. And we're still able to, as you can see, bring some of these great projects that we have to fruition with the sewer plant, with the downtown improvements, and particularly in the last 2 or 3 years, the automated meter infrastructure system that I think has been a big improvement.
Let's talk about one of the most talked about subjects in town. That's the city budget. I'm sure it's popular and everybody's talking about it at their dinner table. The budget process, how does it work from your perspective?
Well,
we're talking millions of dollars. I'm sorry.
Yes, and really over $100 million when you get down to it. How it starts is we begin by looking at our revenues, because again, we're driven by, we know there's unlimited needs and wants that can be compiled all the time, but you got to figure out how to manage that. So we review our revenues, we look at our histories that we've compiled for 10 years or more, and then we look at any trends that we may see with sales taxes or with utilities. For instance, the effort that we are looking at with Koch Industries to help us on the waterfront could potentially impact the water revenue some. So those are the kind of things that we would take into account as we look at projecting those budget numbers. It is challenging. I kind of equate it to being a weatherman, sort of. The weatherman knows it's going to be hot in July, and he may tell you it's 105 or 110, and he's going to be pretty close to right, but he's probably never going to be dead on. That's kind of what the challenge is with budgeting. It's hard to be exact, but we want to come up with the best estimates we can. So we start with the revenue, and then we start looking at the needs after that. And we certainly, based on history, know what the operational needs of the city are. We take into account any changes in the organizational structure that may be happening, and we roll all those up. So we look at the personnel. You know, personnel is a big chunk, so that's certainly important. And then finally, we look at the capital needs and the equipment needs for the city. So we take all those pieces like a puzzle, and we try to fit them in with the revenue and make it work. In the end, we have to have a balanced budget. That's a requirement by state law. It doesn't necessarily mean that every fund has to be budgeted, balanced every year, because as you know, if you have carryover or funds that you've built up from previous years, you can use those. Or if you're in a year where you have access to extra funding, such as loans or grants, then that gives you a little more leeway. But that's pretty much the process, to summarize.
I'm quite sure this process doesn't start on a Thursday afternoon and you wrap it up by Monday. Can you just kind of share with us in general terms is on the budgeting process when you're looking back at all the data and the numbers and monies that's available and just looking at all the line items, if you will. Is this safely a 1 month, 2 month, or 3 month project? Or
it's really a 3 to 4 month process. Okay. We really complete the audit by the end of the calendar year, generally report that in January, and then turn our focus to the new budget. So we start looking at revenues in February, March. We start looking at our expenses then too. So really you could say it's about a 3 to 4 month process. The month coming up, we're going to have a lot of discussions with the commission, not only at their 2 regularly scheduled meetings, but there may be some special meetings. Typically there are some special meetings planned specifically just to discuss budget items. And pretty much we hash that out. We'll also have a public hearing where the public is welcome to come and in commission chambers in a meeting give their input if they'd like to. They don't have to wait till then either. They can come in anytime, let the city manager know. They can let their councilman or commissioner or the mayor know. But we will wrap that process up in June. And looking at our calendar, we haven't set the exact date that we think that we will approve the budget this year, but I know from past experience it'll be either on June the 4th or it'll be on June the 18th, which is the second meeting of June.
This is very helpful information for me as I learn a little bit more about city government. And one thing that we appreciate the avenue of the use of Pegasus for our viewers is that each week since kind of December, we've been taking a certain segment of city government and highlighting the functions and introducing the viewers to the leadership and so forth. And in this case, this week, it's the CFO. And so we appreciate the opportunity to learn more about city government and raise the awareness. And the final question I have for you, Jerald, is how can you compare the city budget process to maybe my home, the personal budget? I mean, what similarities are there?
Well, one is that typically we need to live within our means, just like the federal government and just like an individual has to.
That's the key. I'm trying to remember.
Yes, yes. And so really that's probably one of the similarities. There's a lot more zeros on the end of our numbers than most people have access to in their personal lives. So that makes it a little more challenging. And there's certainly a lot more needs than I would say that an individual, normal individual or a family has to deal with, because we deal, and that was one of the similarities or one of the differences, the big differences I saw from working for the state and working for the city, is that in working with the state, I was worried about finances for one individual site, and plus I had plenty of support. I had support of the head office, I had support of other state agencies. At the city, we're a self-contained entity. Mm-hmm. There's other departments you can rely on, but on the finance side, there's nobody else to look to that's going to give us or give us money in our checkbook outside of grants. We take care of the pension, we take care of the payroll, we take care of paying the bills, we take care of budgeting, we monitor that. So they're all done by us. So I guess that's a similar to a normal person as well, because most people don't have other people they can turn to or agencies to do various functions for them.
Well, this has been very insightful, and I appreciate your time today to kind of open that window up a little bit so we can look inside city government, and specifically on the accounting side. And we want to remind everyone that you can go to enid.org, our website, and you can click on departments, and then you'll list all the departments that we have within the city of Enid, and you can find Jerald there and under the accounting tab and learn more about the accounting department. Jerald, thank you very much. It's been very helpful. And our guest today has been the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Enid, Jerald Gilbert, and we'll be back with our next guest right after this.
Hello, my name is Derrick Silas. I'm the City Manager for Enid, Oklahoma. We're located in northwest Oklahoma, just a short drive from Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Wichita. We're the economic, social, medical, political, and educational hub of the area. Not only do we have the largest retail trade center in the area, serving a customer base of over 200,000 people throughout northwest Oklahoma and southwest Kansas, but we have a diversified economy that continues to provide jobs for the people of the area and opportunity for future growth. Oil and agriculture have always been major components of Enid's economy, but we've diversified our industrial base, and we're the home of many nationally recognized corporations. Enid is a safe and economic place to live. It's a great place to work. It's an even better place to raise a family. Our air is clean, our lifestyle refreshing. We have all the amenities of a large city, but we retain the friendly atmosphere of a small town. So if your company is thinking of relocating, I hope you'll consider Enid, Oklahoma. I promise you'll find a community that is overflowing with boundless opportunities. We're building an original heritage, and we're pulsing with a vibrant quality of life. Learn more about Enid on our website at enid.org or call me at 580-616-7246. Hope to see you soon.
Welcome back to City Connections. I'm Steve Kime with the City of Enid. Our guest now is Derrick Silas, the e-communication manager for the City of Enid. Derrick, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing a little award that you have with us today. We'll talk about that in just for a few moments. Okay. I know your background is working with websites, and you were the web manager with City of Enid for some time, and now your new title is e-communications director, I believe. Tell us a little bit about that role, but also a little bit about your background.
Okay. I'm a native of Mississippi, and I got my Bachelor of Science degree in computer science from the Mississippi Valley State University. And I've worked in education field, marketing, hospitality, and a lot of other fields. But with the City of Enid, I first came in 2008, and I began as the web developer, and later became the web manager, and now, as you stated, the e-communications director.
Well, Derrick, as you know, and many people within the City of Enid know that I am not the technical person, okay. And you definitely are on the other spectrum for me, because I am one of the users of computers. I am not a tech person, but you have that expertise and you have that background. Can you just kind of share with us in regards to website development and maintaining the City of Enid website, because we know it's received some awards. What role do you play in the upside and I should say the maintenance of the website?
Okay. It's a 24-hour okay. type of deal. We did a great design in the graphics, and we have a content management system called CMS, where we have content editors from each department that can kind of keep their portion of the website up to date. But basically, I look for ADA issues. We have to make sure that readers can, people that are impaired can read those. Okay. And it's a lot of work.
I realized in the e-communication title, and that seems to be a trend within city governments across the state and across the country, to have an individual in that particular role. My question to you is, with social media really taking off, and it was kind of a personal thing for a while, but now it's a corporate thing, and it's also a City of Enid thing. So we have our Twitter, we have Facebook, and the list goes on. And I realize that's part of your responsibility now. Tell the viewers, how in the world does Facebook tie into the City of Enid?
Well, with the use of Facebook, it allows us to get what we call Gov 2.0 or citizen engagement. So we can inform the public of things very quickly. Most of your viewers or most of your residents are on Facebook, and they use those. Those are the things they're comfortable with versus coming to the website. So we were trying to go in their neighborhood where they are very comfortable.
Well, I can see where it can be just a important tool for the City of Enid. Like if we needed to announce a street closing or some emergency was taking place in some part of the community, we could use Facebook and get that information because it's out there instantly, right?
Exactly.
So do you see any other uses of Facebook for the City of Enid besides just this communication tool?
We share pictures and just videos to show them kind of what the positive side of Enid, what's going on in our city. And then also we look at the statistics, and you can see that we get people not only from the Enid area, but people all over the country and all over the nation looking at our Facebook.
I realize
and interacting also.
A week or so ago, you showed me this report that you generate, I believe, each week, and it shows individuals from all over the country that are viewing our website. Yes. There were 50-some individuals from California. Louisiana had another 50, 25 from Florida, 40-some from Texas. So it's not an Enid thing. I think it's important for us to share about the City of Enid website. If we have 50 individuals from the state of California looking at our site, they may be curious why we're doing so well, and so I guess they're taking a look on why we have so many successes. And speaking of successes, the City of Enid has won 2 awards recently. Yes. I know 2011 was a good year for the community, and also for 2012. But the first award I want to talk about is the Sunny Award. And what can you share with this? And it's SUNNY, yes. The Sunny Award.
The Sunny Award is a award by a nonprofit organization called the Sunshine Review out of Virginia. Okay. And they rate websites for transparency, basically state, city, and local government, county government. And they rate it on about 10 points. Some of the points they look for in the website to see if you have agenda and items, meetings on your website, great contacts for the administration on the, for instance, here will be the city manager, assistant city manager, the department heads, and the elected officials like the mayor and the city council. They look for the budget items, as I said, and for the city it would be like your tax levy and other use taxes, how the city would use those. So we have a percentage. If they go on our website, they can see the percentage that goes to, what percentage goes to what on the website.
And I think people will realize when they go to enid.org that there is information there about the community, where to live, what to do, things of this nature. But on the other side of that, you can see the transparency side of city government. As you said, the list of the departments, as our previous guest had mentioned, the audit is there and financial. Yes. So it is very transparent. So, and this is a national award, right? The Sunny Award?
Yes.
So that's quite an accolade for us to receive. Now, I understand last week, did you get to see the cherry blossoms? They had to be blooming. They were up at Washington, D.C.
Yes.
This is the time of year for that. But you were up in D.C. to, I believe that you personally went to pick up this award for us. What can you tell us about the award from the NAGC?
Okay, the NAGC, first of all, is the National Association of Government Communicators. And I went, and this award, this specific award is a national award program they have every year. And this was called the Blue Pencil and Gold Screen Award. The city of Enid, as you may know, went through a rebranding process last year, and this award was submitted for that particular place.
Okay. One thing that I'd like to mention that the rebranding effort that took place last year is it really consisted of a new logo, but also the logo is not the branding. Can you kind of share with us the difference in that? Because if somebody sees the new logo and said, oh yeah, that's the new Enid brand. Well, branding's a little bit more. Can you elaborate?
Well, with the brand, it encompasses everything about yourself. So that was one thing they saw, and one of the judges said the reason why they picked us for this award, this first place award, because they saw that we really took the time to as a whole, all of our different organizations came together and wanted to rebrand the entire city to give it a different aura about itself.
Yeah. So. And I'd like to mention, and keep me honest on this, but I believe the Enid Chamber of Commerce, we had Main Street Enid, ERDA, City of Enid, and
the Visitors Bureau.
The Visitors Bureau. I knew there'd be maybe one there. But so you had 5 different entities work together during last year to come up with this new logo and branding. I know that I have talked to individuals in Texas. They're going through this new logo and branding process, and they have talked to me about all the meanings behind the stake in the ground for the letter I and all. So it's really significant. Well, congratulations on the Sunny Award and also on the Blue Pencil and Gold Screen Award. I know that's going to add to your trophy case, so keep up the good work, and thank you very much for being with us today. That's Derrick Silas. He's our e-communication manager for the City of Enid. Thank you for joining us today on City Connections. I look forward to being with you again next week discussing a topic that impacts all of us here in Enid. If you have a question about today's program or have a suggestion for an upcoming program, please send your comments via email to thefuture@enid.org. For the City of Enid, I'm Steve Kime. Make it a great day.